In this exercise we have to find domains of following functions: 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, sorry. And to do this we have two ways. Algebraic way. In this case we have to remember that we have 4 exemptions. It's denominator, square root of negative number, context of the problem, and logarithmic function. And graphical way, just using graphing calculator. Let's take a look on our examples. First one is f of x 3x minus 5. F of x equals 3x minus 5. How you can see, it's just simple linear function, and when we don't have any endpoints, it means it should be all the x values. What it means, domain would be equal to from negative infinity to positive infinity. Another way to check it is just we have to check our exemptions. Do we have any 0 in the denominator? No. Do we have square root on negative number? We don't have any square roots. Context of the problem, again, we don't have any context or word problem to this expression. And do we have any logarithmic function? 0 negative argument or logarithmic function? Again, we don't have it. That's why it's again should be negative to positive infinity. Another way to check it, just using a graphing calculator. Going to y and plug in our function, which is 3x minus 5. Graph it, and you can see it comes from negative infinity to positive infinity, just a line. Just to show you, it's approximation just. Okay, and how you can see, we don't have any endpoints. Our function comes from negative infinity and goes to negative infinity, and our domain is x values, and you can actually extend this line infinitely, and our x values will be all x axis actually. That's why it's the same answer, from negative infinity to positive infinity. Next function will be g of x 3x minus 4 over 2x plus 1. G of x equals 3x minus 4 over 2x plus 1. Again, we can use algebraic way and graphical. First, algebraic. And when using algebraic way, we should first of all look at these 4 exemptions, which we know for now. 0 in denominator, and how you can see, this is a rational function, and we have denominator. What we can do, we should find the value of x when this denominator is equal to 0. To do it, we're just taking denominator, which is 2x plus 1, and force it equal to 0, and found the value of x when it happens. Just solving simple linear equation. And we're subtracting 1 minus 1, and it was 2x equal negative 1, dividing by 2, and x equals negative 1/2. This the value of x when our denominator is equal to 0. It means where graph not exist. In other words, it's a vertical asymptote. And when we found this value, we know that our domain actually includes this value, and it is domain for the function negative infinity comma negative 1/2 unite with negative infinity, negative 1/2 to positive infinity. How you can see, I'm using parenthesis, which means we're not including this point, negative 1/2, in the domain. That's it. And to do it graphical way is using calculator. Okay, y clear. Just plug in this function, and when you plug in this function to the calculator, you have to remember to use the parenthesis for all numerator and denominator, because in this case, if you're not going to use parenthesis, it will be some different function. Okay, open parenthesis, 3x minus 4, close parenthesis, divide everything by, again, open parenthesis, all denominator, which is 2x plus 1. Now graph it. How you can see, we have vertical asymptote. Which happens at -1/2. If you're gonna zoom it, you're gonna see that it's -1/2. It means our graph goes very close to this value, -1, but never really touches it. And from the graph again, we're coming again with domain -1, -infinity to -1/2, unite -1/2 to positive infinity. Next function is h of x, square root of 3x plus 5. H of x equal square root of 3x plus 5. Again, if using algebraic way, we should check these exemptions, and actually it's number 2, the square root of negative number. It's cannot be its exemption from the domain. It means we have to find when this expression under the square root is negative number. Just solving inequality, 3x plus 5 less than 0, or when it's negative. Again, subtracting 5 from both sides will give 3x less than -5 divided by 3, and x less than -5/3. This actually is our exemption from the domain. It means now our domain should be everything but not less than -5/3. It means it starts from -5/3 and is actually including 5/3, because we can have the square root of 0. It means we're including -5/3, and we go all the way to positive infinity. Oops, sorry. To positive infinity. It's our domain. Again, we can check this just using calculator. Y and square root of square root of 3x what is it, plus 5. Graph it. How you can see, our graph starts at next to -2, which is -5/3, and goes all the way to infinity. It's not stopping. It's exactly what we came up with, -5/3 to positive infinity. That's it.